Hey folks, JD here, and today we're going to be looking at the Bugs 2, and it's a big thank you to Banggood for sending me this. Alright then my friends, let's open this up and have a little look and see exactly what comes in this package. Alright then my friends, this is what we have. So let's start off by looking at the quadcopter first. This is the Bugs 2, and as you can see, if we start right at the front, we have a front-facing camera. This is a 1080p HD camera at the front, fixed lens unfortunately, but still we do know that the Bugs cameras are pretty okay. They do break up at some distance, but the quality from them is certainly not the worst. If we work up from that, we have this seam here, this join, just where the two halves of the plastic top and bottom have been joined on. Then we have the very iconic MJX Bugs eyes. Look at those. Absolutely brilliant. I love the eyes on the Bugs. Work our way to the back. We have this quite nice aerodynamic design across the top. So we have obviously this little GPS meter here that just shows you the GPS modules in here. So you can actually have quite steady flight and steady hold from this. And you can see the aerodynamic curves in here as well. So it comes straight across from the front of the propeller arm, directly curved into the back, and then it slides. You have another slight little cutout there from the other side as well. And it's the same around this way as well. Really nice. I love this dome at the front. Really, really sharp. Looks a little bit like a train. Very aerodynamic. Used for cutting into the wind. Is going to be very, very nice. Right, so that is the front of it. That is the side. Now the back of it, this is where the battery goes. So the battery just connects in quite simply. A little bit like this. So battery just slots in and then just clicks in there. This battery is a 7.4 volt 1800 milliamp hour battery. The flight you can get from this is rated at 15 to 18 minutes, and the charge time is up to 300 minutes. Now, getting 15 to 18 minutes is a possibility. You might be able to do this. Even though this does have a camera, there's no FPV relay, so there's nothing to relay back down to a smartphone. So you're going to save a little bit of battery life there as well. And to charge this, you use this particular cable here, which is just literally tucked into the back end inside there. So if you can't find where the charge cable is, as with all MJX batteries like this and the MJX2 range, they're just in the back there. And then we have our little connector here, which this connects into the inside of the quad. That then is what gives it the juice. So that's the battery. Quite nice. As we can see, the battery hasn't bubbled at all. It looks nice and flat on all angles there. So I'm going to give this one solid charge from however charged this is, which actually we might be able to find out. Let me see if we know what percentage this comes from the factory charged. So let me just get open, there we go, my battery tester. Let's plug it in. So it's 99% charged, so it is already charged by the look of it. So that looks okay. So at least we know we've got correct voltage for across it. We know the cells are fully charged as well. So what I may do is I may plug it up as well, just to see if it does actually take any more charge. But if not, we already know that it does come from the factory as 99% charged. I don't think that's a very security conscious way to travel with it, to be honest. But at the same time, we do know that it is charged. Okay, that's the battery. Let's put that to one side. And then let's go back to the quad. So we've had a look at the front, we've had a look at the sides, and we've had a look at the back. Just before I turn her over, you can really see here the two notches I was talking about earlier, and exactly how well they are cut out. Look at that. Absolutely fantastic. Nice little seams as well across the back end of the propellers, the propeller arms. So let's flip this over. Let's see what we have. So we have an SD card writer in there. So we've got an SD card there already. So let's have a little look. And see, this should be, I think it's about a 4 gig SD card. Let's have a look. Yeah, there we go. 4 gig SD card, which is already in there, which is quite strange because I don't think that was actually on the list of things included with this particular quadcopter. And at the back here, we have our lock. So once you put the battery in, you've got to lock it in place. If you don't mid-flight, that battery's just going to come straight out of the back. So let me just demonstrate that for you. So push it in, click, automatically comes on, and then lock it in place. That battery does not move. And then once you lock it in place, that's when the quadcopter is properly going to come to life. As you can see now, we've got LEDs flashing and everything looks to be as if it's working. There we are. Right. So along from the bottom here, we've got all these aeration holes at the bottom just to let air and wind pass through. Electronics and battery sitting here. Electronics to the top, battery to the bottom. And that then just allows any heat to dissipate out through the bottom, so that way you're ensuring that your electronics and your battery don't overheat and they don't cause condensation in there as well, which could be critical to the electronics. Right then, let's flip this upside down and let's have a quick little look at one of these motors. So all of these motors are brushless, as I'm sure you are aware, and as you can see in the bottom here, this is where your LED sits, right in the bottom. You have your little rubber bung there just as almost like a little landing sprig, just to absorb your landing. Now this rubber bung, as you can see, goes in quite a long way into the particular quadcopter, so you aren't going to have any issues with this ripping itself out, because it's not just stuck on, it's actually inside the plastic. The cone is quite nicely shaped as well. We have these very nice sort of angles coming in left and right, makes it look very, very nice. It's also secured via these screws inside here as well. Now you've got a couple of holes here should you want to get propeller guards for her. It's not something that I ever fly with, so I'm going to leave them as they are. These particular motors are indeed quite powerful. They're 1800 kV motors, and that should supply you with more than enough power to get this little quadcopter to sing. So all in all, this is what she looks like. Absolutely stunning. Really, really cannot wait to take her up. There we go. So that's the quad. Let's put that to one side. Now then, we've got a couple of other accessories, but before we get to that, let's look at this transmitter. So this is a standard MJX transmitter. We've seen the likes of this time and time again, but it still is an excellent transmitter. Very basic, but does exactly what we need. So we've got auto takeoff and auto landing on the left hand shoulder button, as well as we've got the lock and unlock button. Now when you turn the transmitter on, you've got to have that button held down, and then so when you turn her on, you should have this LED indicator starts flashing. If it doesn't, then just turn it off, click and hold, and then turn it back on again, and then from that way it'll automatically bind with your quadcopter when you plug the quadcopter battery in. So we've got a couple of buttons around here. We've got our trim buttons, a standard lanyard holder, we've got a little telemetry screen here, so you'll have your quadcopter signal and battery, as well as your transmitter battery and signal. You also have how many satellites are actually configured, or how many satellites this particular quadcopter is locked to, will show up down here rather. So it's quite nice little telemetry screen then, just to let you know exactly what's going on. You shouldn't take off until you have at least 6 or 7 satellites, but again, it'll show you down here. Then you've got a couple of buttons to the side here, so you've got GPS mode on and off, and then you've got another little slider here, which I'll have to double check and see what it is in the transmitter, as I can't remember off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure that that would be for headless mode, I think. Then we've got 2 buttons at the top here. This is for taking photos, and then you've got return to home. So the return to home on the Bugs range are really good. There's normally about a 2 or 3 foot difference from where you took off, so it isn't actually that bad. We've got the antenna at the top here, and we've got a nice little carry holder on the back there. As we turn around, we've got the battery bay. This particular quadcopter transmitter takes 4 AA batteries, so ensure you have the proper batteries installed, because this transmitter does not allow USB charging or any sort of charging, so the batteries in here have got to be shop bought or fully charged. So that's the transmitter. Very basic, it does a very good job, and to be honest, that's all you need. Feels quite nice as well, feels quite rigid, feels quite sturdy. This matte black as well, I really like it. Really like matte colours. It's better than the very garish, very glaring gloss colours. I like that. I think that'll do the job. Right, so that's the transmitter. Then we come on to the accessories and manuals. The accessories consist of a balance charger, as well as we've got spare propellers as well, which I didn't get out of the box. So we've got the balance charger, which just plugs into there. You've got the USB cable then that just plugs into the back there. And then you've got your manual, you've got your Bugs stickers. There we go, stickers. You've got your quick start guide there as well to get you up and running. And then you've got your manual. So what I want to do, in the interest of completeness, I just want to go over that transmitter one last time and look at the photo of that, just so that I can tell you exactly what that button was. So we're in mode 2. As standard, there are 4 modes. That's a little image of the telemetry screen there, so you can see exactly what you've got going on. There's the satellites there. You've got the battery of the transmitter, battery of the quadcopter, return to home, headless mode, photo or video, and then you've got your height and your distance, as well as signal level there. So everything that you would really need in order to use this properly. So as we flick through this, I do like the MJX manuals. They're very, very good. Goes into gesture mode. Oh, there we go. That's the buttons there. So you've got GPS mode and gesture mode. So gesture mode is non-GPS. And then you've got GPS mode, where obviously the GPS module is used for precision hold. And then the other side of it then, which is really bugging me because I know it's at the tip of my tongue. It's headless mode. Yes, there we are. I was right with that. Fine. So there we go. So that's the manual. Quite nice. Takes you into quite a lot of detail. Have a read of that before you go any further. Right then, my friends, we've had a little look at this. Now, let's have a little look at the flight test.
What we're going to do is hold down on the lock button and turn on the transmitter. That then will auto allow it to bind when you plug the battery in. Battery goes in, lock the back, and then give it a second for it all to turn on. Then the lights should be flashing. Let's just check. Single one up and one down to bind. Okay, it looks to be okay. Then for calibration, and then you want to twist it. When you've got all these lights flashing up yellow or green, whichever colour you see, to me it's yellow. Then you twist it 3 times one way until the lights change. And then the lights are now green, as you can see. And then you lift it up with the camera facing up and then twist it 3 times again, anti-clockwise it should be. And then you have red, which is solid in the front, green, which is solid in the back. Calibration is complete. Right, gyro calibration down and to the left there. All the LEDs are going crazy. And then once the gyro is totally calibrated, it'll go back to red LEDs at the front, green LEDs at the back. Right, so what we have here, mode 2, 11 satellites. The transmitter battery is a little bit low, but that's fine. Quadcopter battery is looking okay. That's full. We've got full signal and 13 satellites. So click once on the unlock button, and then you can take her up. So what I'm going to do to begin with is let's take a couple of photos. Now there's no app with this. It is back to the good old days of having a quadcopter where there was no app and you could trust that if you were looking at it, that was the straight line ahead of you. So let's take one photo. I'm going to keep on snapping this, which is the little photo button which should be taking photos, and then if I click and hold, it should be recording video. Yep, the video button comes up there, just a toggle to say that it is recording. And on the underneath of the quad, it is then red and blue flashing. And that just lets you know that it is recording. Right then, let's take her out a bit. Let's see what we have. Now, the great thing about not having an app for it to download, for it to relay video back to, is that hopefully, with this flight, we shouldn't be getting any breakups. Hopefully, it should just be recording absolutely beautifully perfect video, or as perfect as this particular Bugs is going to record. So today is the first day in a fortnight where we haven't had any storms. Ooh, 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 ooh. No, you don't, Mr. Seagull. Get away from my quad. I'm going to drop our altitude. Bit of evasive manoeuvres for the second. That seagull likes to look at that quad. Yeah, well, let me tell you something, Mr. Seagull. If you try to go for that, you might get injured, my friend. There we are. Yeah, go away. So, as I was saying, this is the first week in a fortnight where we haven't had any storms, and it's beautiful. Blue sky, sun, loads of different types of cloud cover out there. It is absolutely lovely. Really, really nice. And it's nice to have the quadcopters back in the air, because it gets to you after a while if you don't fly. It really gets to me, I tell you that. So we've dropped 1 bar of battery on the quadcopter. God, this thing shifts. It really, really shifts. Same as any Bugs. I mean, you've got a full set of brushless motors, albeit only 1800 kV, but still, that's all you need. Look at it. It is absolutely storming about the place. Oh, hear the wind there. I don't know if the microphone in my GoPro picked that up, but quite literally what I was hearing there was the quadcopter going woo, 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 as the wind was hitting over it as it was trying to turn there. So let's bring her back the other way. Beautiful bit of yaw and roll there. Bring her out for quite a wide arc and then straight ahead of her. Just go. Beautiful. We're looking great. We are looking great. Now then, the thing with this is you don't have an app to have a little look to see which orientation you're at. So it's important to remember how far you move the quadcopter by the analog sticks. That way then you should be able to bring her back in almost a perfect straight line. There she goes, and back out again. Of course, if you do get into any issues, then of course you do have that good old-fashioned return to home feature. And because this is a GPS quadcopter, it should come back to almost... Oh, There we go. It should come back to almost where you took up from. Normally, with a lot of GPS quads, you find that they go within a certain diameter to where, or a certain location to where you dropped off from, so where you took off from. So usually that is about a foot or 2 foot away from where you took off. Look at this thing go! It's storming about. We still only lost 1 bar of battery on the quadcopter. It is absolutely storming. So I'm increasing altitude as I'm turning there, just because, you know, why not? Doing so well, Mr. Bugs. Full signal, up to 17 satellites locked on. So if I just let go of the transmitter there, well, not the transmitter, but let go of the analog sticks, we should find that it hovers pretty well. Oh, what's it doing there? It's increasing in altitude. I don't want it to do that. So let's bring her down and see if she does that again. No, she seems to be okay. That was quite strange. Let's bring her back to me. And let's just let her lock herself in place. Whoa, look at that. Oh, fighting a bit, fighting a bit. See, she's increasing. Maybe she'll stabilise herself. There's a lot of wallow there. See the quadcopter just altering its course. It all depends on where it picked up and where I let go of the analog sticks. That's its last course heading. That's where it's going to lock. Let's bring it down, because these seagulls today, my friends, are hungry. They want some food. You ain't gonna get it though. Okay, so there's that red and blue flashing LED I told you about, just on the underside. Lets you know you're recording video. Yeah, see, it's stable, it's lovely. Look at it, just locked in the air. No problem whatsoever. Just looking really, really, really good. Angry eyes. Now the sun has come up a bit, so I'm going to fly her off and up to the right a little way, so that we don't look directly at that sun. Not that it'll kill us, but at the same time, I don't want to go blind. So then let's have a little look at a certain location that we don't normally look at. Let's look over the trees. Let's leave it. It takes a while to lock, but don't forget, folks, this is quite an old quadcopter. And to be honest with you, it's MJX bugs. You know, you're going to have a good quad. It's just, you're going to notice little simple things that obviously age it slightly. And one of the things I find that ages a quad no end is when you have a quadcopter that's GPS module takes a while to lock. And that's what I'm seeing here, is that it takes a little while to lock. It's not a problem as such. It's just be wary of it. You know, if I let go now there, it should come back to about here-ish, should. All locked, all good to go. And again, let go there. Air brakes are looking fantastic. I love the air brakes of any particular quadcopter. I really do. It's fantastic. You just let go and you just see the quadcopter brake. Brilliant. And off we go. It's beautiful golden sunrise. Looking really nice. Yeah, you can't go wrong with this. I mean, tight corners, tight turns. We're still only one bar down on the old battery meter there for the quadcopter. Don't know how 100% accurate that is. I would like to think that it is totally accurate, but at the same time, I'm not 100% sure. But only 1 bar, and that is from flying it flat out. I'm not babying this. This is not, you know, this is not me taking it easy. This is me flat out with this thing. One thing I have noticed, the telemetry screen down here takes a little while to update. But still, you can cover a lot of distance in a short space of time. Let me show you. So straight out, off we go. So from there now, 65 meters, 75 meters, and then turn it back around and come back to me. Oh, there's that seagull again. Back for more. Let's bring him down a bit. Oh, you are a hungry little thing, ain't you? There's a lot of bird activity today. Is there something the animal kingdom knows that we don't? Probably, to be honest with you, it's probably the fact that now we don't have any storms. Oh, he's back, he's coming back in, he's circling round. So I'm going to bring this quadcopter down a bit. Yeah, he really wants to look at this. Right, okay, I'm going to have to be careful here. Whole point is just to fly with the animals, you know, and not to actually harm them in any way. Yeah, look, he's only a baby as well. You can tell because he's still got speckled feathers. His pure white feathers haven't come in. What is this, a nature documentary? But still, I don't want any harm to come to the animals. That's not the sort of person I am. Right, so yeah, we've dropped one satellite. We're down to 16. Still got video recording. So we still have video recording. We still have 1 bar dropped on the quadcopter, so we're still looking absolutely fantastic for flight time. The one thing I think this is missing that it could do with, that seagull's gone for the second, so I'm going to take advantage of that. The one thing I think you should have with this is a little timer. I always think that, and I say it quite often as well, that it'd be quite nice to have a little timer so you could see exactly where you are, as in how long you've been up in the air or how long you've been recording for. And a lot of apps do it, a lot of quadcopters do it, and then there are some... Oh, now what is that? Oh, now it says we're only halfway down on the battery, but let me stop the video recording. It says we're only halfway down on the battery, but it's initiated LVC. Yeah, that's all the LEDs flashing. Backlights flashing, front lights flashing, front lights solid rather, backlights flashing. Right, you know what, I'm going to bring it down. Nice little flight though, Mr. Bugs. I like you a lot. I really do. Funnels, come on, down you come. Sweet. Bit of air brakes. I'm not being gentle with you. This thing can put up with it. There we go. Okay. Let's leave it stabilise itself. It's flicking back on the back end a little bit there. There we go. And then let's bring her down. Oh. It is wallowing a lot, isn't it? When it comes down to land, it really is wallowing quite a bit. I'm in 2 minds to initiate return to home and see what happens. Let's initiate return to home. So it took off from there. So let's see when return, obviously if that seagull comes back, I'm going to disengage return to home and I'm going to land it myself. Now, do you remember when I did this ages ago? We had an issue where the quadcopter involved was going to be landing on my tripod. There we go, descends. Do you remember that? And I ran out, grabbed the tripod quickly before it got, well, not crashed, but before the quadcopter got its flight path blocked. All right. There's that couple of foot difference I was talking about. There's a bit of grass cutting as well. Sweet. Let's actually, I forgot my own thing there. Oh, it was locked. Let's stop it. It's my fault. I went to lock it. Let's turn off the motors. Down and to the right to turn off. I'm so used to having to go to somewhere. Maybe I'll turn that off. I'm so used to having to go somewhere and then having to press the lock button. Right, there we go. So that was the Bugs 2. That was nice. I thought that was really good. There were a couple of little things that just let it show its age, and that is one of them, the GPS module takes a while to lock on, and that's what you really notice, especially when you've got all these fantastic quadcopters coming out nowadays, which are not 100% accurate, but I would say a good 92, 93% accurate. As soon as you let go of the analog sticks, usually the air brakes come on, and then it locks. Whereas with this, you found you let go of the analog sticks, the air brakes came on, it would wallow about a bit, find its coordinates, and then lock on. It's not that much of an issue at all. Just be wary of it. That's it. Just be wary of how this flies. Now, the seagull didn't get me, so it's one to me, it's 0 to the seagull. Hopefully the video recording is going to be good. Hopefully we're not going to see any jello. Well, jello maybe slightly. We have got brushless motors. That does reduce jello massively. There's no gimbal, you know, so you may see a little bit there, but hopefully it's not going to be that much. Class 10 SD card, if anybody wants to know. That's all the SD cards I use in all my kit, whether it be head cams, whether it be run cams, whatever, and quadcopters, they're all class 10. So hopefully we're going to have some good footage on there. Other than that, folks, I thought it was great. Really long battery life. All in all, I really like this. But then again, it's hard not to. It's the Bugs, isn't it? It's the Bugs range. They're a fantastic range of quadcopters, and I think they really are known within the quadcopter world, and yeah, they're really excellent. As for the transmitter, as I said in the first part of the unboxing, that this is a very basic transmitter, and that's all you need. You've got your basic functions. They work fantastically. Returned to home, landed approximately here by the clump there, which was a couple of foot away from where it took off, but still, that's really not too bad. I have had a couple of GPS quadcopters when I've been privately testing them that have landed a good 6 or 7 foot away. So having that there from such an older quadcopter using older technology, that's really not too bad at all. So this particular transmitter is a go. I like that telemetry screen. The only fault I can find with it is that there's no display time for how long you've been flying or how long you've been recording a video. That is it. Other than that, my friends, in my eyes, it's an absolute winner. It's a great little quadcopter. Well, it's hardly little. It's a great quadcopter, flies well. Just watch out for seagulls, yeah? All right then, my friends. Thanks ever so much for watching and listening. I've been JD. You've been fantastic as always. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Hello and welcome to all the new subscribers. I hope you're enjoying the channel. So until next time, my friends, happy flying.